Hey, good day. This is your Sensei Al Bob coming to you over our channel, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. It is Monday, August 4th or 5th, and I'm still out here in the deep green. I drove over to the general store that has Wi-Fi to see if anyone will come on to live chat. If everyone's too busy on a Monday. Uh, let's see. Are you there? Oh, chat works. Um, Narcissism is as American as apple pie. You know, everything about this country lacks a sense of gratitude, grace, and empathy within the structure. Now, the people, different story. American people, very generous, very loving, very outgoing, reaching out to assist, to help, to manifest the best outcomes. And we have to, I was watching Joe Rogan and he had Cornel West. Cornel West is quite an interesting scholar, a person who leads by example, which is pretty much what I'm talking about when I say we need an alternative aesthetic. We have to lead by example. And we all make mistakes, but the person who's trying to do better in every day and every way by taking the peace of the earth, making it stronger through love's co-creation, that person moves forward, doesn't mull over in a narcissistic way. Oh, that person was mean to me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. You know, we have to understand, we're all human beings, well, emotions. And, Socratic logic wants us to believe that we can control that, right? That we won't cry, that we can hold our emotions in, we can be a Vulcan. No, you don't want to do that. You want to express yourself, open it up, And because if we deal with what's going on first, right off the bat, then it won't get bad. If we look at the problem, immediately as we see it, it won't turn bad. My grandma used to always chide me about this, that, or the other thing right away. So she said, so I won't have to talk to you about it ever again. It was a mistake. Just keep going. And, so we're in this really bad thing. And a lot of people, America's, it's going down the tubes. It's, not like what it used to be, blah, blah, blah. No, sorry. Not the case. The real deal is that we're starting, what Donald Trump is, he's a mirror. He's showing us what America has always been. And pretty much every day, somewhere around 1,200 people die in America because of medical misconduct, medical incompetence, medical, the drugs that are being sold are like, OxyContin, a good example, They knew exactly what that was, and they knew exactly what was going to happen, but they wanted to make $100 billion. So they did, right? And now they're, putting the blame on you. You're the addict. So every time, like I have charcoal legs. Go look that. Go Google that. And it comes from diabetes, and it comes from neuropathy, and it comes from a lot of other things. That all these diseases. See, they give them names, but no, they're kind of a smorgasbord of environmental catastrophes. And the largest environmental catastrophe is, the love, the white male incompetencies of power, of the love of technological death of others and making a profit off it. So, that's why we sell all those F-18 Hornets to Saudi Arabia. You two of you, why don't you thumbs up? Why don't you call some people? I have to go hit the little boys room. Look at the art. So, do you like the art show there? I tell you, there's nothing better than a good evacuation. God's greatest gift is that we were given physical bodies to experience. And that's all these bodies are for. We are spiritual entities in a physical body. And taking Socrates' point of view that we have to quiet our emotions and view everything Socratically. No, because what is Socratic but a very subjective point of view of our senses, what we're seeing, feeling, right? So it's hypocrisy to say, oh, you got to quiet down your emotions so we can look at all the evidence. No, because you're only looking at it through your sensory device. So every time you pinch a loaf, you should really enjoy that, right? Which I just did. We came on, I have the same issues my dad has. As you get older, you realize how much you are like your parents, just like your gene pool. We're all swimming in it. And the fact that we're all human beings, we're not African American human beings or German human beings or white human beings or Hispanic. No, we're all human beings. You know, and every time we see a horror that like transpired in front of us, we have to realize that that's the most vivid one right in front of us, being brought to us by our media. But there's tons, like a corporate entity somewhere around here burnt some really nasty crap. Um, because they could, because there's nobody living here, and the people who live here are poor, and there's no real rich people. Now the rich people are going to move in here, and they won't be able to do that no more. But um, it's where it's at. Let's see.
You need some more water or anything?
Oh, that'd be nice. Yes, please. Thank you. Oh,
You want me to take the side plate?
yes, I'm all done. Hey, are you there? Here I am. I'm here. I just went for a bathroom break. In my age, it comes on me quick. And sometimes I gotta go. Oh, yes. Pinching a loaf is one of God's greatest pleasures. And, so, thank you, dear. So, I had to drive here to be able to make this little comment. Because I'm all by myself out in the middle of nowhere. And, I go up and down the hills. If I were to twist my ankle, fall down, and I couldn't get up, well, that'd be it. Right? Yeah. The hidden hand would start gnawing on me. But, so I know this, so I'm very careful every place I put my step. So I'm very conscious. It makes me very aware. It makes me very internalizing about my thoughts, about my actions. Every action has a consequence, right? And through good thoughts, good words, good actions bring good outcomes through good deeds. But that can only happen when we are self-aware, when we're self-conscious. Not that, oh, I don't look right, or I'm not cut, or I'm not wearing the right clothes, or any of the above. No, about how we are feeling and how we express our feelings to each other. Instead of openly, we bottle it up until we explode and start throwing things and saying things that hurt people's feelings. And, and then acting like they have no consequence just because you may have a position where you can control other people. If you're a parent, that's one of the issues. If you're a boss in a business, or you're an administrator in an institution like a school, these are all things that people use to buffer um, their inability to communicate by having power over others, right? And that's kind of what our materialistic world is about, The thing that I enjoy most is making others happy.
I love it. We have to pump up and then pump it up and then Yeah, you just put it in the wrong field already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like before.
Yeah. I love mine.
And
I would.
that's why we, in every day and every way, we have to take the piece of the earth and make it stronger by serving love's co-creation, not by serving ourselves or making ourselves look any greater or being a big star or the best director or writer. Or if you make movies, it should be because you are driven, right? I Whitley Scott, I guess, the guy who did um, Alien and Blade Runner and a number of other movies. I saw a little blurb of him, about his careers making movies, and he said he basically, you know, did it because he was passionate about making. He didn't care whether they were successful or he loved making movies. He loved the process. He loved the creativity. He loved writing the script and doing the whole process and working with other people, and he give them the opportunity so they could shine to make him look better. That's one of the I enjoyed making films. I was the electrician, the guy who made sure the electricity was flowing to those Klieg lights. I didn't hang the Klieg lights, I just made sure that generator was running and nothing stopped it, right? And then when video rerun came to film, so the director could see, instead of having to wait for the dailies, he could just watch it right there, right? And that was another little thing. I was right, you want to do this, push that button, and I did, right? So I got to see the process of making films and what it was and how it was. So when I went and made video, did you know Potato Wolf, New York, Manhattan Cable, and I had my own little video company. That's what drove me. Because I didn't make any real money out of any of that. And me being an artist, I haven't really made any um, fortunes out of it, right? I learned a lot. I experienced a lot. I made a lot of friends who I still have, ones who are still alive, and you know, and that's what life's about: experience, And so here I am, out in the middle of nowhere, and so my friend is solitude, and I'm not bored. My campsite is kind of like a sailboat in the woods. There's always something to fix, right? My water always breaks down. I always have to patch a hose or, you know, unclog this or do that, right? But, that's what life's about, right? And, I'm going through stuff that I've gone through for a good 10 years. So I thought I got rid of most of my books, but no, I just kind of got rid of the ones I didn't want to keep. And the one I keep, oh, look at this box. I open it up. And so I've been reading, like 2 or 3 books a week. This one, it's quite interesting. This is written by the guy who wrote Fight Club. And this one is a very good Teutonic point of view of history, I guess, but I was going to say esoteria, but they're almost the same. And so it's been 20 minutes now. And again, I suggest, Joe Rogan is quite interesting. Go to my playlist. There's a lot of interesting shows on that, It's like, so you don't have to watch 8 million shows. You can just watch the 20 or 30 that I got on there. The other thing that I find interesting, I'm starting to get contacted by people who are just kind of stumbling across Dreamy Dreamland. And they're going to the beginning and watching all the shows that have been before. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. Right? And I keep suggesting to the cadre to go back there. And we used to have 320, now there's only 308 of the cadre. Come on, we need more than that. Go back and opt up if you've fallen off. Hit that bell again so you get contacted that I am doing it. Hey, fish. So, Pugnuts, what have you been up to? I haven't noticed you on the chat for a while. Where you been? See, to read it, I have to put on 2 sets of glasses and get close.
Yeah, please.
So,
So your house cleaning.
I'm house cleaning.
I just bring the leaf blower into the house and blow everything out.
I hear you.
It does such a better job than the broom. Beyond quicker.
Uh-huh. I do.
Anyway.
I do.
What you up to, Fish, today on this Monday? So is it dark 30 yet in your neighborhood, Fish? Right now it's about 4:30 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. But I like Joe Rogan because he's still that same guy who did that really chumpy TV show Fear Factor, but now he's talking about interesting stuff. And whoever his producer, if he picks the conversation, it is quite interesting.
Oh, yes, I do.
336 CST, Central Standard Time. So you're out there a little past Florida. Is Tennessee in Standard Time? The Western, because Tennessee is a real long, narrow state. It's almost kind of there in Texarkana. That's where it is. Isn't that where you are, Fish? You're in Tennessee? Tennessee. Did you guys ever hear the band Arrested Development? They have a song called Tennessee. They got a great beat. Great bass beat, great drum beat, great piano, good keyboard and voice. And a guy scratching. Dee. The Space Age. Lemon in a bag. One problem is you can't open them up. Just got to work. And I'm proud of you first thing to do is get online and watch Streamy Dreamland while you're at work. Anyway. So what's you all thinking about? I was just talking about, I've been saying for years, image but no substance. That's kind of Western. That, like I said, it's a Socraterian or Socratic mindset. Image but no substance. Because when you try to get rid of your emotions, you bury them in the idea that, oh, I'm going to be, responsible, grown up, blah, blah, blah. No. If you're empathetic, you'll be those things. Right? If you're feeling what other people are feeling, well, then you're going to do the right thing. You don't have to think about it through a theologic map. Anyway, and I love this cover. So this is us, right? This is us when we're not that happy. Here's us when we're deluding ourselves. Yeah. Oh, anyway, got any deep thoughts for me to think about? Again, the only thing we are here to do is to live love's co-creation through our example. That's how we need to live our lives. Not worrying about how to pay the bills. Or not feeling incompetent. Oh, I feel so incompetent. Oh, everybody around me, I hate them because they're more competent than me. No, sorry. And that you stuff all these emotions, and so, of course, they kind of pop out of your head sideways as thoughts, like, inappropriate thoughts. And that's why Donald Trump is a blessing, because he has no, he cannot, he's the mirror of our worst self. And we're getting to see it first on, and the consequences of our worst self, And if he keeps pushing, we're going to have a real nasty war. Part of himself goes, no, I don't want to do that. I see that's not a good thing. But once he gets pushed into a corner, Bolton and, all the war dogs in his cabinet, he said he was going to go after the swamp. Well, the most swampiest swamp creature there is Mitch McConnell. You go to Kentucky, he doesn't have more than a 23% approval rating. But he has big, deep pockets of the corporate structure to get him elected, right? So, I mean, nobody can go up against him because he buys all the TV ads, right? So that's how he's gotten to where he is. And now he runs the Senate. And he calls himself the Grim Reaper of human rights. So, what I love about Mitch and Donald Trump and everybody else in the Republican and Democratic Party, it's not just the Republicans. Democrats, Republicans are two wings of the same corporate bird. What we need to have multiple parties. We need a Green Party. We need a Progressive Party. We need a Labor Party. We need a social activist party. We need all these different parties that could get like somewhere between 12 and 20% of the vote. And that means nobody can just win with 35%. Right? So you need to have a coalition. Now, if the Democrats were smart, Nancy Pelosi would, go on TV tomorrow morning and say, listen, this is what we're going to do. Um, Bernie Sanders is going to be running for president. Tavi Gabbard's going to be vice president. Joe Biden's going to be Secretary of State. Kamala Harris is going to be Attorney General. Um, what's her name? The senator from New England area. What's her name? She is going to be HUD. The guy who is totally, whack about the environment, he's going to be the EPA and the Energy Department. And we're going to bring in people like Ralph Nader, and we're going to bring in, people like, Cornel West, and we're going to bring in other literary, poetic, artistic folk. And because when Don, we're having the best people. I mean, he has everybody from Wall Street, you know. It's all the bankers. The only thing he's gotten through Congress really is a tax break for billionaires, right? Which has put a dent in. It was supposed to, the trickle down thing. No, just because everyone has a $8 an hour job at a supermarket or a Burger King or something like a service job. That's and to make ends meet, they have to work, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And the kids who graduate with debt through their ears can only get a job at Starbucks. And if they do get a job in a corporate job, they have to work 80 hours a week to keep that job and to pay off their debt. If you haven't realized, slavery did not stop with the Civil War. All that had happened is that we commercialized slavery to the point that the slaves basically, think they're free. Real freedom comes when you have nothing. I have nothing to lose. So I feel pretty free. And what protects me is that I want to serve. I'm here to serve. Love's co-creation, not myself, not my ego, not my narcissistic, childish inferiority complex. I know I'm a moron, but I do my best. I'm there to serve the other, not myself. Because if I serve all my relations, I'm part of that clan. Well, there's still two of you watching. One of you gave me a thumbs up. Come on. We need to get more people as adepts. We need more pebbles in the pond. Come on. It's now, 33 minutes. And it's 4444. Unless we have more than 6 people. This has been my outreach to you guys. And I probably Wednesday, Thursday, maybe the weekend, I'll do something. Look, John Birmingham. He was there. I wonder if John his comment was, "Are you okay?" Well, I'm here. I don't know whether he's talking to me or Uncle Fugnuts. If Uncle Fugnuts answered, "I'm fine." Thanks for the love. So, the thing about neuropathy is, so I have everything both my parents have, and I took care of them for the last 20 something years of their life, so I kind of know where it's going. But I'm doing a little better because my mom, she did everything the doctor said. So did my dad. So, they didn't really do any homework. And my mom worked in the medical world for a good deal of time. She should have known better. Anyway, the last 15 years of her life, well, she didn't walk any more than, I don't know, 40 feet a day. To go to the John, to go to her chair, to go to bed. That was about it. Maybe go to the table and have dinner. And she wore these terrible shoes and walked with a walker. And every step she, pain. And I had the same thing, but I got myself, and some other people got me, orthopedic shoes, which do a better job than mom's slippers. But circle legs, your bones are just kind of crumbling. And so at the school, I could pull right in, walk 4 steps through the door, walk another 3 steps, and the kitchen was there, the bathroom was there. Another 10 steps was, where I slept. So that was, didn't put any stress on my legs. But if you've seen any of the videos, it's like going up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. And so it's very painful, but it strengthens my legs. So when my legs started to atrophy, because I had these metal clamps on them. Well, they were fiberglass clamps, but they used to be metal. It's kind of things that, Forrest Gump used to wear when he was a kid. And so to make sure they didn't cut my legs off, I had to, get rid of the clamps. So my muscles had to get stronger, my bones would get stronger. The guy said, well, that's going to be awful painful. We're going to have to put you on, a morphine pump and 500 milligrams of OxyContin. And I went and did my little homework. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. He goes, why? I said, well, because A, it doesn't get rid of the pain. It just hides it, turns me into a vegetable. All I'd be doing is sitting in the corner drooling. And how dare you offer me, you better not be anybody else, because that's like a death sentence you just offered me. So I didn't take it, and I had to find a different doctor. It took me a year and a half to find all the right doctors I needed. And luckily, I didn't die in that period of time, because the health care I was getting was not the best. The drugs they put me on, not the best. I said, and there's something about it. Once what I know what I'm doing, I'm the doctor. You don't tell me anything, just take the medicine. So I did my homework. I said, see, look at this, and what it says about that drug. Because I don't have the time to read that. And I said, okay, new doctor. Went to 2 more doctors, so I found one doctor who said, okay, there are lots of different drugs we can give you for your diabetes. Let's try a bunch out until we find the one that actually does the best. And they did. Now that's why he's my diabetic doctor. He's my endocrinologist. And to get a guy to take care of my diabetes, I had to find an endocrinologist. So, and that's how it works, right? So, 39, again to 39. And there's still just 2 folks. Oh, this is the first I've heard from John Birmingham since he threw me out of the school because he wanted to get his knob polished. And he was, I should have put it together, because the first time he threw me out, again, it was in his Russian bride showed up, and he, didn't want me around, which he could have said, hey, can you find someplace else to go? Just like when I was in college, I had a roommate who used to put the necktie on the doorknob, and he was a great guy. I mean, he loved this woman he went to high school with, and she went to Penn State, and he went to Hofstra because he got a full scholastic thing to go there, right? And she would come visit him every weekend. Um, and so I would leave, right? She'd show up Friday, and I would find another place for me to stay until she left Monday morning, right? And I did it every weekend, not a problem. And when he said, I'm going to put it, I said, you don't have to do that. Don't have to time the doorknob. When's the girl coming? Okay, and this and that. Okay, I just won't be here. I'll find someplace else. He couldn't believe I could do that. So even though I turned our little cell into my dark room, I painted the windows black. There was never a bit of light coming in. I put up disco lights. I brought in a couch and I put and I put a fan to take the noxious chemicals out the window. But he put up with that, and I would take, he'd come in and there'd be girls or animals or lots of things that I was taking pictures of on the couch. My couch was my set piece because I had it lit. And the fact that I would, vacate our room for the whole weekend, for that whole semester that we were there, because upstairs I had my own little den of iniquity. It was a totally Jewish school. It was 30,000 kids. Everybody was Jewish except a handful of Christians. And my mom made a big deal that I had a Catholic roommate, and that's what this kid was. He was a Catholic. But the boys upstairs who took over the whole school were mobster sons, and they were smart. The mobster son sent their boys to college so they could have college-educated mobsters, and those guys took over the government, So, the whole thing is, my whole life has been one of experience. I've been very blessed with my grandmother from, day one, as far back as I can remember. And I can remember being born. I can remember going back to my parents' little house that they stuck me in the sunroom outside of the house. The dog got to sleep inside. I had to sleep in the outside of the house, in a moldy dresser drawer. That's what my grandma said. I'm taking this one. And I remember my grandma's house. I remember being in her crib. And my grandma would send me back to be with my family. Well, she would go there, and I would be there. She had a little room for her and my parents once they got a bigger house, right? And that was quite soon after. I was about 2 when they got the big house. When they went from the small house to the big house. My dad was starting to make it, and so and he made it pretty quick from being a colonel in the Air Force to making it as a salesman. He did that in 2 or 3 years, started making some good money. That's what my mom wanted, so that's what my dad did. And my mom was the admiral of the Navy, and my dad was the captain of the ship. And she let him steer it. So there it is, 44. So when it hits 44 seconds, I'm going to say au revoir. Because there's only 2 of you guys. And I love you all. You stay well. Remember, you're here to lead by example, right? To take a piece of the earth and make it stronger with your example in every day and every way. Take that piece and make it stronger with love's co-creation. See it clearly. Okay? Okay. Oh, I love you guys. You have a good day, good morning, good evening, good wherever you are. Okay. One of you already bailed. There it is, 44. Okay.